Welcome to the People's Revolution podcast. This is the space where we share stories from activists around the world. We hope that these stories inspire you to act locally as we share globally. Welcome to the People's Revolution podcast. We are going to start today, as always, with a land acknowledgement. A recognition that we are on stolen land is not enough when the genocide we call history still continues today and is reinforced by the daily lives of those unaware. Residential schools only closed their last doors in 1997, but the mentality of the residential schools lives on. White people imagine living in a place that not only normalizes genocide, but actively covers it up. We don't live here because a peaceful treaty was signed. We live here because white people before us brutally pushed their way in. This includes our current government, our CMP, and church, and we need to acknowledge this and the harmful systems it brought with it before we can even attempt to create reconciliation. It is a privilege to not know you're living in such a way that makes a genocidal reality seem like regular everyday life. I would like to recognize that the land this was recorded on was stolen from the Wendat Confederacy, the Anishinaabe people, and the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. Before the treaties, I want to share the wampum agreement of the area between the Anishinaabe and the Haudenosaunee Confederacies. This wampum, known as the Gdo-Naga-Naga wampum or the Sewatagua-Sera wampum, was created in 1701, preceding all treaties with the British government. This land was later forced to be the home of Treaty 13. All treaties in Canada are signed unethically and in exploitation of Indigenous people and the land, as well as treaties in Canada are not upheld. Treaty 13 was between the British Crown and the Mississaugas of the Credit in 1787 and revised in 1805. Toronto also hosts the more recent Williams Treaty, signed with no negotiation proceeding with 7 Chippewa and Mississaugas nations in 1923. In 2010, the Canadian government paid $145 million to the Mississaugas of the Credit over Treaty 13. And in 2018, the Williams Treaty was also financially compensated with $666 million paid by the Canadian government and $444 million paid by the Ontario government, along with a recognition of treaty harvesting rights and a return of some land and an apology. The name for Toronto comes from the Mohawk word Toronto. Welcome to the People's Revolution podcast. I'm really excited to be putting this out. It is the first of our live at show interviews. I super appreciate the experience and I can't wait to do more. This show was part of Storming the Ford Nation mini tour by Union Thugs and Stinkbox and included 2 more bands based on the Toronto area. All of the bands were very rad and so kind, and I appreciate each and every one of them taking the time to answer the 2 questions I brought with me. Today we had the pleasure of interviewing Joe Cash, Stinkbox, Backbreaker, and Union Thugs. I do hope to do more like this, so if you like what we're doing here, please hit the like or subscribe button so I know that there's interest in these kinds of recordings. I was also having a slight bit of difficulty with my new recording equipment at the beginning, and I do regret not getting more footage of the first set with Joe Cash, but I really do recommend that you check him out on Bandcamp, and his links will be below. I am grateful to be able to put some focus on the beliefs and values behind the music. We truly believe that is what punk is about, and we are so grateful to amplify it. Thank you so much, and Please enjoy. We are starting this round of interviews off with Joe Cash.
I definitely had one too many beers, but that's okay. So I'm gonna get through this. Whatever it takes, I know I can make it through. Oh, this is my terrible attempt at the Degrassi theme. Say, baby, it's driving me crazy. You left me out here in the rain. The liquor store lady is looking quite wavy. The homeless man's begging for change. I threw on my book, I said, wish me some luck, cause my lady, she's wildin' at home. Said, boy, don't you know it's not home you should go. Better off all on your own. I told him I'm faded, impatiently waited outside of the store for my cab. Smoking a swig from my bottle of gin, and the man disappeared just like that. My cab never came, so I stood in the rain, smoking my cigarette down. It wouldn't stop pouring, I said fuck the store, and I walked my drunk ass into town. And I can't remember the last thing I said. Was it I love you or I wish you were? I can't remember the last thing I said.
And we are here with Joe Cash. He just played a really cool set. I just have two questions for you.
Yeah.
The first one is, what impact do you hope your music makes, or what message are you trying to portray with your music?
Is that one question?
Yes.
Okay, so I guess like the biggest thing with me is I like people to relate to my songs in like an everyday kind of sense. Like, you know, when people try and get like too deep with songs, or like in hip hop and stuff, like it gets too like extravagant, and even like old 80s rock. It's like, I got cars and mansions and everything. To me, that's not how I lived. That's not how I grew up. So it's like, I want somebody to hear it, and even if like there's one line in one song that connects with a certain point in their life, and they tell me that that song made them feel something and remind them of a time in their life, that's what I like. And also to just have like relate to people's normal experiences, everyday experiences, kind of like in a non-miraculous way, if that makes sense.
Very cool. And the second question, what about society would you change if you could pick one thing?
There would be no cops. I mean, that's like straight to, but yeah, I mean,
No, it's a good answer.
yeah, well, that's a given for me. Like, I'm very anti-police, but I guess too also, one thing I kind of miss is just people being real with each other, and like not interacting in society enough with each other because there's nothing else to do. It's like people were cordial to each other because they didn't have Facebook to see what their conservative uncle was posting about this, that, and the other. And it's like, I kind of miss just the respect that people had in society. So if I had to boil it down to something not so aggressive, I would say just people having more respect for each other and getting along with each other and not being filled with hate. I wish there was less hate in society, and I wish there were less cops.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Back to another musical clip by Joe Cash.
You thought that he was gonna be the one. Fast forward a bit, it was cold in the city and I saw you walking down the street. You stopped to chat for a minute or two. I asked how you been, you said great. You asked about me and I said same. We both knew neither one of us was telling the truth. It was the last day of our class together. There's no way that I'm getting off the streetcar, cause this might be the last chance I
but I missed that like a tattoo on your wrist. Should I have called you right away? Where was that time you texted me that summer night in 2014? Told me that you didn't have anywhere to stay. You showed up with tears in your eyes, but assured me you were fine. I poured you a drink and you laughed out loud. You told me you felt crazy. I told you don't be crazy, baby. You laughed again, grabbed my hand and said I'm all yours now. It was the last day of our class together. There's no way that I'm getting off the street car, 'cause might be the last chance I get to.
You can find more of Joe Cash's music linked in the bio below under his Bandcamp. Again, we do wish we got more footage of him, so please do check him out. Next up is Stinkbox.
One, two, three, four!
Now for our interview with Stinkbox. So we are here with Stinkbox, and we're just gonna ask 2 quick questions. What impact do you hope that your music makes, or what message are you portraying with your music?
I'm just trying to portray an act of community, and unity is just kind of my thing, and community service and, revolution. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And the second question, what about society would you change if you could pick one thing?
I just wish people could be a little more kind, tolerant, and a little more critical thinking,
Cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Back to some musical clips from Stinkbox.
It's all in your head. That's what they
can find more music from Stinkbox in the link in our bio through their Bandcamp. Next up is our friends from Backbreaker. Next is our interview with Backbreaker. So we're here with fucking Backbreaker. And they have agreed to answer a couple questions. So let's do it. What impact do you hope your music makes? Or what message are you hoping that your music portrays?
Never again means never again. We made a promise in 1945 and we haven't kept that, so it's time to make that promise again.
Yeah, that's fair. Don't be a dick to people.
I hope it inspires people to be better people. People need to do better.
What these three said.
Jay?
No comment.
Identify Jay by his dental records.
He's Jay from Cambridge.
What about society would you change if you could pick one thing?
Honestly, too big of a question. I don't know picking one thing. It's too I don't know which one thing I would. More people to be anti-authoritarian, I guess. I don't know.
All of it? The whole thing? All of it?
Yeah.
Well, this is a pretty open-ended question, and there are a lot of things that I think we can work on. I think a really good starting point is to break away from the commodification of everything, where everything we have and everything in our lives has a price. And then we build in a scarcity with that price. So some people will hoard and some people will do without. We have more than enough resources to cover the entire planet, and we let some people starve in the street so others can ride dicks into space.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
The French had a really good way of dealing with this. Just fill the baskets.
Bring back the guillotine.
That was beautiful.
Do you guys have anything to add?
I'm on board with that.
I got nothing.
I just think society needs to change in general. The way we do things, the way we think about things, the way we act. Simple. Awesome. And that's not going to change unless we all wake up and realize that.
No comment?
Exactly. People just need to change. There you go.
And eat more hot sauce.
Say your story.
I didn't mention a brand.
You should mention the brand. What is the name of your hot sauce?
Sorry sauce, sorrysauce.ca. Hi, I'm a farmer.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thanks for having us.
Now back to some music with Backbreaker.
It's a cover called Which Side Are You On? If you know it, get the fuck up here and sing it. Let us know which fucking side you're on.
You can find links for Backbreaker in our episode bio. Our final piece is with Union Thugs.
As many workers fight to make their stand, and behind them every honest working man, in unity with each other, and your friend becomes your brother. Parents' heart will be a lesson learned. Give them hope, give them strength, give them life. Like a candle burning in the black of night. We're all with you in our hearts and in our minds. And we'll fight with the workers through their darkest times.
Next up is our interview with Union Thugs. So we are here with some of Union Thugs, and we're just going to ask the two questions. The first question, what impact do you hope your music makes, or what message are you trying to portray with your music?
Okay, so mainly our band name is Union Thugs. So obviously we are all part of the same we are part of the same union, which is IWW, Industrial Workers of the World. So with our music we're trying to reach all the workers that are fighting for their work, for better rights. And yeah, that's it. So we go often on play in protest on picket lines when workers gonna be on lockouts. So we bring an instrument and we go cheer them up with songs that are talking about working class messages. So that's mainly it. It's really important for us to pass a message that workers organize themselves in their work, because if the workers doesn't organize themselves, who will? Not the boss.
Do you have anything you'd like to add?
I think like what we want to like build or generate in terms of emotion when people listen to our music is, if workers are not already angry about what's happening at their work or in life or just in society in general, I hope that our music gonna make them angry. And if they are angry, then I hope that our music gonna give them like a little hope that if we just pull ourselves all together, then maybe we could change a few things. Mostly.
What about society would you change if you could pick one thing?
Him first.
Oh shit. Only one?
You can pick as many things as you want.
There's so many fucked up things in this society. Only one, I would go with like the wage system. Like the idea of being always underpaid to do always a lot more. It doesn't make sense. It's just killing us all. It's killing the planet. I would start with that. Then so many things. Yeah, wage system, just to name one.
Me, the only one thing, mainly, it would be the abolition of the police, because the police is, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. We proved so many times that we can organize ourselves to make justice. without police, and just the police in general is just an oppression work. So the abolition of the police, it's something that I would really like. Yeah.
And without police and buses, it's still not perfect, but it's a good step forward.
It's a good beginning.
Yeah, we got something here.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks to you.
You too.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Now, back to some music with Union Thugs. We have 2 clips to finish this episode off. You can find links to Union Thugs music in our episode bio. Thank you for checking this out, and we'll see you next time.